Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to be talking about streaming TV, and we'd like to thank Viking Pavers for liking and sharing the podcast. And we'd also like to thank Player FM for featuring us again, and you can check out their podcast app at player.fm. Some of the first digital media players came out in 2000, although they were streaming audio only. Apple TV came out with their first TV streaming device in 2007. Roku came out in 2008. Google Chromecast came out in 2013, and the first release of the Chromecast sold out on Amazon.com, BestBuy.com, and Google Play in 24 hours. And then Amazon Fire TV came out in 2014. A study done by Pew Research estimates over 60% of people 18 to 29 now stream TV. Over 40% of 30 to 49-year-olds stream, about 10% of 50 to 64-year-olds, and around 5% of people over 65.
Let's start off with explaining what streaming TV is.
So if you're streaming, you're watching TV over the internet rather than through a cable or satellite service, and you're going to need a smart TV with a built-in streaming system or a streaming device like Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, or Chromecast, and you're connecting that to your TV, and that streaming device is connecting to the internet, and each system is going to have a selection of apps, and those apps are going to provide a streaming service, and each app has a selection of shows or channels that you can watch either live or on demand.
Exciting. Let's explain how it connects to the TV.
So you need an HDMI port on your TV, and your streaming device is plugging into this, and then the device is using Wi-Fi, or you're going to have a direct Ethernet connection to your router, and that's how you're getting the internet service to the device, and then you're plugged right into your TV.
Okay.
Once you connect the streaming device to your TV, you're going to create an account, set up payment options if you plan on purchasing services, and start picking apps. And most people are going to pick one main app like Hulu, Sling TV, PlayStation Vue, or YouTube TV, and that's going to give you a variety of channels like CNN, DIY, Sci-Fi, TNT, TBS, and others, along with your local broadcast TV channels. But those local channels are going to vary depending on your location and the app.
So when you're picking your main streaming app, you need to go to their website, plug in your zip code, because it's going to vary by your location, and then not all of them carry all the channels. So you need to know what shows you like to watch, what channels you like to watch.
Exactly.
But when you're making your choice here.
And along with your core app, you'd probably want to add another app like Netflix or Amazon Prime Video, HBO, or Showtime. And all these are going to have a monthly fee.
Right.
Your streaming device is also going to have a wide selection of free apps with TV shows, music, games, and movies. So if you're looking to reduce your monthly cable or satellite bill, there is an amazing amount of free or very low-cost apps that can keep you entertained.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a Roku streaming device, for example, they have a channel store, and in that you can pick all of these different apps. So here's some of the categories: movies and TV, music, games, comedy, education, international, fitness, science and tech, weather, news. They have one section where it's kid apps. So there are 460 different apps to choose from. Sports has 482 apps.
Wow.
Travel, 244. And in each of these, each app is going to have a variety of channels.
You could just entertain yourself by looking at all these different apps.
It's pretty wild, the amount of television that you could watch,
Yeah.
and a lot of this for free.
Many of these free apps are going to have commercial breaks just like regular TV.
Right. And even on the paid apps, some channels are going to have commercials or limited commercials depending on your package. Some content's going to have no commercials like Netflix or HBO. The streaming services with a cloud DVR will allow most commercials to be skipped if you record the shows to the cloud, but some networks won't allow you to skip commercials, so you can't fast forward, which is pretty interesting. So if you go onto the website of each one of these service providers and read the DVR restrictions, you'll see which channels won't allow you to fast forward.
Okay. What are some of the main streaming services?
There's Hulu. It's Hulu. Sling, Sling. PlayStation Vue, and Vue is VUE. Fubo, Fubo. YouTube TV, and Philo. It's Philo. And when you're checking out the services, you should make sure your device is supported. So if you like Fubo, you want to make sure it's working on your device. So if you have, let's say, a Roku. Hulu, for example, has live and on-demand TV, movies, and sports. They have over 50 channels. So you'd go to their website, you'd put in your zip code to get the channel selection for your area, and you're going to have stations like ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, FX, History, Sci-Fi, TBS. And those channels are going to run you $39.99 a month right now. Mm-hmm. And those channels can change over time. Sometimes they get new ones added or they lose channels due to contracts. Hulu has an interesting bundle with Spotify, so you can get both. And you can watch up to 2 TVs or 2 devices at once. You can upgrade to watch on more devices at once, and you have 50 hours of cloud DVR storage, so you can record your shows up to 50 hours. You can also upgrade for an additional fee. You can get up to 200 hours worth of recorded shows. They recommend 8 megabits per second in your internet speed or higher. If you're watching multiple devices or 4K movies, for example, you should have higher speed.
You have to have high-speed internet if you're using streaming.
Right, so that it's not buffering. Sling TV has 3 tiers. They have an orange, a blue, and an orange and blue combo. So the Sling Orange and the Sling Blue are $25 a month now. Sling Orange has 30 channels like ESPN, Disney, A&E, AMC, CNN, and TNT. Sling Blue has 40 channels, and they're going to be different. They have FS1, FX, Bravo, USA, TNT, TBS. And then the blend, blue and orange, has 48 channels, and you get a variety from each.
Right.
If you want a cloud DVR, it costs you $5 more a month, and you get 50 hours worth of storage. And they're recommending 5 megabit speed for single viewing. If you're watching multiple streams at once or 4K movies, they're recommending 25 megabit or higher.
Okay.
PlayStation Vue has 4 main plan options. They have Access, Core, Elite, and Ultra. It starts at $44.99 and goes up to $79.99. Their Access has around 47 channels like Disney, ESPN, CNN, Food Network, TBS, and USA, plus your local channels. Core has more sports channels and around 65 channels. Elite has more movie and sports channels, around 90 channels in total. And their Ultra adds Showtime and HBO plus around 90 channels. Mm-hmm. And you can add more sports channels, movie channels, and Spanish channels to your core package. And the layout they have for their guide is very similar to cable when you're scrolling through the channels. So it feels very familiar.
Right.
You can stream up to 5 devices at once. You have unlimited cloud DVR for 28 days. And you could record up to 500 programs. They recommend 10 megabit speed minimum, 5 megabits for each additional device that's streaming at the same time.
Okay.
And again, always the higher, the better clarity you're going to have.
Right.
Fubo has about 100 channels for $44.99 a month, and they have a lot of sports channels, a lot of soccer. Mm-hmm. You have 30 hours of cloud DVR. You can upgrade to 500 hours.
Wow.
They have a 3-day replay, so you can go back and watch shows that you missed if you forgot to record them. So you can go back in the guide.
Right. PlayStation Vue has that too.
Okay. You can watch on 2 devices or upgrade to 3 devices at once. You can add on Latino stations and different sports packages. They recommend 10 megabit speed minimum for 1080p viewing. If you're on multiple devices or for 4K movies, they recommend 25 megabit or higher. YouTube TV, their streaming service, has about 60 channels. You can watch live TV, sports, and news. It's $40 a month. They have a cloud DVR with unlimited storage, and they're recommending, if you're watching on one device, a 7 megabit per second speed, multiple devices, 13 megabits, and if you're watching 4K movies, you should be higher.
Okay.
Philo has around 40 channels. It's $16 a month, but you get no local stations. And then for $20 a month, you get about 50 channels. They have unlimited cloud DVR. The shows are saved for 30 days, and you can watch up to 3 devices at once. And they're recommending a minimum of 5 megabit if you are watching on one device.
Okay.
And then the more devices, the higher the speed should be. And Philo also has a deal with Pandora.
Oh, exciting. What are some top-rated streaming devices?
There's Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, and Chromecast. The Apple TV has 2 main models, and they're just small square devices, about 4 inches by 4 inches, and about 1.5 inches tall. And they come with a remote that has Siri integrated for voice command.
Fancy.
Their basic model is 1080p resolution. Their Apple TV 4K has 4K resolution, Dolby Vision, and HDR10.
What's that?
So the HDR10 is just better picture quality. You're going to get more distinct colors.
Okay.
Apple TV has 802.11 AC Wi-Fi to receive the Wi-Fi signal. And the Apple TV 4K has 802.11 AC dual band. And you're going to get the best performance if your Wi-Fi router sending the signal is 802.11 AC. And it's going to have much faster speeds than previous models. And the new 802.11 AC routers have smart...
Do you just love saying that or what?
Yes. So, there's a lot of different varieties of the Wi-Fi. So,
I know. We talked about it in that episode when we did routers and like Ethernet, right?
Right. And it's amazing. These new routers have smart signals. So they're detecting what's picking up the signal, and they're going to increase the signal strength towards that device, like your streaming unit, which is pretty amazing.
Apparently. Sounds space age. If you're going to be changing to a streaming service, you should update your router.
Right.
Or contact your internet provider and get a new modem.
Yeah, have them update it for you. And some of these devices, you can also connect with an Ethernet cable for a direct connection. And if you do that, you should go into the settings and make sure that you have a wired connection rather than Wi-Fi.
Right.
Amazon Fire TV has a few different models. 3 are popular in retail stores. Their basic Fire Stick kind of looks like a large flash drive for your computer.
Right.
It's a thin rectangular shape with an HDMI plug on the end. It's 802.11 AC, 1080p. It has a remote with Alexa voice control built in. A step up is the Fire TV with 4K. It has a bigger body with a short flexible cable that plugs into your HDMI port. It has 4K resolution and Alexa remote control. The Fire TV Cube is a cube. It's about 3.5 by 3.5 inches and 3 inches tall. It has a built-in smart speaker with Alexa, so you can control your TV and other smart devices with it. You can have your TV turned on and off. You can look up stuff. It has volume control. It's pretty amazing what you can do with this.
I hope nobody's listening to this on speaker, because you've made a lot of people mad that have Alexa.
Alexa, what's your favorite home improvement podcast? It also has 802.11 AC dual band, 4K, and you can either use Wi-Fi or connect it directly with an Ethernet cable. Roku has multiple devices.
Have you spelled that yet?
Roku, R-O-K-U.
Thank you.
The Roku Express is a small device, and it uses an HDMI cable to plug into the TV. It comes with a remote, but the remote doesn't have on-off control of your TV. It's 802.11 B, G, or N single band, and it's high definition.
How do these get power?
So it depends on the device. Some of the small ones use a micro USB, and you would plug this into a USB port on the TV or a sound bar, or plug it into a wall adapter. The bigger units are going to have a power cable that you'd plug into an outlet.
Okay.
The Roku Streaming Stick is a small rectangular unit that plugs into the TV's HDMI port, and the remote pairs with most TVs. You can control the power and the volume. It's HD, it has voice control. The Roku Streaming Stick Plus is a little bit longer than the stick. It comes with a voice remote. You can control the TV power and volume on most TVs. This one's 4K and HDR. It has better receivers, so this will work further from your router.
Okay.
The Roku Ultra is a flat unit, 1.4 by 3.3 by 1.7 inches. It connects to your TV with a cable. It's 4K HDR. It has a voice remote, control your power and volume if it pairs. This one has the best reception and processor, so you can be further from your router. It's going to get a great signal. You can also connect this with an Ethernet cable. And the remote has earbuds that you can plug into it, and it turns your volume off, so you don't have to have the volume on.
So this unit, if you lose your remote,
right,
you go to the unit and you touch the top of it.
Okay.
And then the remote makes a sound.
That's pretty cool.
Which I found out the other day when I was cleaning it. I'm
right.
like, what is that noise? Why is the remote? And I'm like, oh, okay, I remember now.
Chromecast has a couple popular devices. The basic Chromecast is circular with a short, flexible cable to an HDMI plug. It's 1080p. And what's interesting about this is it doesn't use a remote. You control it with your phone or a tablet or Google Assistant. And the Chromecast Ultra looks very similar, but this one's 4K, Ultra HD, 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, and this also works with the Google Assistant.
So if you have multiple TVs in your house, you have to have multiple streaming devices.
Right. So you may want one of the upgraded devices for your main TV if you're watching a lot of sports or 4K movies.
Right.
And then the less expensive devices for other TVs.
Okay.
And the app that you use for your TV, you can also use on your phone too. So if you have the PlayStation Vue on your Roku, you can watch all those shows on your phone or a tablet with the PlayStation Vue app.
That's nice.
You also get the flexibility that you're not locked into a long-term contract. You're just paying month to month for these service providers. And you can change as often as you want. Mm-hmm. There's also free trials so you can test out the services.
Which you should definitely do. Like when I changed over to streaming, I tested them all.
Again, right, smart.
I like some more than others.
Right.
So with cable, I was just used to turning off the TV and I wouldn't turn off the cable box.
Right, okay.
So never thought anything of it. With streaming, though, you have to be worried about your data usage. If you don't go back to the home screen, you're still streaming all night long when you're sleeping.
And that's a good tip. Yeah, don't leave on a station. Go home.
You have to go home.
Go home before you turn off your TV. And you should compare the data packages for your internet provider. If you're using internet for TV, computer, and gaming,
right,
some companies are going to have a data cap for one price. And if you go over that, you get a lot of extra fees, and those can add up.
Right.
So if you do start streaming for the first time, you should monitor your use for the first couple of months and see where you're at. A few companies I looked at had 1 terabyte caps for a basic package.
And that's in a month.
Right, for 1 month. And then their unlimited package could be less expensive depending on your data use.
I like watching sports.
Okay.
When I was doing my research for the streaming service I wanted to use, nobody carried WGN.
Okay.
So in order to solve that, I got a TV antenna.
Right, smart. And the picture quality now with an antenna for broadcast TV is pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. So starting in 2009, U.S. broadcasters had to have the TV signal in digital,
right,
called DTV. The TVs made after 2007 were required to be digital ready so they can receive this digital signal with an antenna. Mm-hmm. But the manufacturers were allowed to sell off all their old stock. So if you bought a TV that was sitting in a store for a few years, even if you bought it after 2007, it may not be digital ready.
If you live close to an urban area, you can buy a TV antenna and get crystal clear picture.
Yeah, it's amazing. And if you want to save money, you can get a basic service like Philo without local TV, get an antenna, and then you've got a nice selection of stations. Mm-hmm. If you purchase a DVR, you can now run that antenna into the DVR and record your local shows. You can watch them whatever you want, and you'd have no monthly fees.
Who knew?
A couple of highly rated DVRs I saw was Tablo, Tablo, and depending on which model, it can record 2 or 4 shows at once. Channel Master, and then TiVo, Tivo, very popular DVR, but most of their models have a monthly fee.
What are some top-rated TV antennas?
Clearstream, Turk, Terk, Insignia, Insignia, Channel Master, Mohu Leaf, it's Mohuleaf, Winegard, it's Winegard, 1x1, so it's the number 1, BYONE, and Antop, ANTOP.
My antenna is this flat, like vinyl, plastic, I mean like the size of a piece of paper.
And it's almost as thin as a piece of paper, very flexible. Yeah, right. Very interesting.
But it's nice. I have it on top of my bookshelf.
Right, so it's invisible. It comes with mounting strips, or I think it has a hole or 2 in it so you can hang it off a hook.
Well, if you're not getting good reception, it's nice to be able to move it around, too.
Right, yeah, smart.
And I was freaking out during one of the Bears games because I was watching it through the antenna, And it was windy that night, so I'm moving it all around and finally got it to a good spot. So there was a crisis here for a little while.
Well, some have amplifiers. You can get indoor or
You weren't concerned about my crisis?
That's what I'm saying. You couldn't get an amplifier. And you should also look at the range. Depending on how far you are from the broadcast signal, some are rated for 40 miles, 60 miles, or 100 miles.
Okay.
So they'll pull in the signal better.
Good to know. Do you have anything else to add?
One report I read said during peak times, Netflix uses about 20% of the internet bandwidth in the U.S., and they also said that the number of people dropping cable and satellite and they're now streaming, it's tripled in the last 5 years.
Wow. Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Player FM, or your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our books, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, on Amazon, book 1 through 5.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com, and you can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.